So this is fairly depressing, but it is what it is. Now, once you understand how all of the different moving parts fit, you get a better picture of what you're dealing with. And then it's when you realize that first, it is very concerning, and second, there's really not a whole lot we can do about it. Let's watch the video and then comment.
In our nation's history, for the first time in our nation's history, a 30-year-old man or woman isn't doing as well as his or her parents were at 30. That is the social compact breaking down. People aged 30 to 34, 60% of them in 1990 had one child. Now it's 27%. People are opting out of America. They're not optimistic about it. They're not having kids. Young people aren't having sex. They're not meeting. They're not mating. The pool of emotionally and economically viable men shrinks every day, which lessens household formation. So we have a real issue. Young people are enraged. So it turns every cut, every movement into an opportunistic infection because, quite frankly, they are just pissed off. They look up, they see wealth, exceptional wealth across my generation and people in certain industries, and they are really struggling. Their purchasing power is going down, and the incumbents create artificial scarcity on campus. We take pride in rejecting 90% of our applicants, so the incumbents who already have a degree see their degree go up in value. We get very concerned with housing and traffic once we own a housing. Housing permits are sequestered from young people. Housing prices have gone from $290 to $420 in the last 4 years. So a young person, a house, stocks that I don't own skyrocket in value. Let's have COVID relief and flush the markets and take assets way up, because if 1 million people dying would be bad, it would be tragic if I got less wealthy. And we're doing it on their credit card. Young people have every reason to be enraged, and every issue they see, they look up, they get angry, and they see someone doing better than them, and then every day it is speedballed in their face that they are failing, that they are not doing as well as everyone around them. We have lost the script. Our kids are more anxious and more depressed and more obese and more addicted, and we have made a purposeful decision to let this happen by ensuring the people around this table stay wealthy at the cost of young people.
So basically what the man said, it's all true, and there's a lot more than that, but the economic aspect, you're not making nearly as well as your parents as a young adult. The prices of houses have gone up, what, 3, 4, 5 times over? It is insane. The artificial scarcity of, yes, getting into school and getting a diploma, how much it costs to even get an education. So it is extremely hard for anyone that is of a younger generation, because it's been that way since, when is it? The map, this little, it's been going that way for a long time. And the idea of the older generation putting all of this on the younger, that is exactly the way it is. As your property keeps on going up in value, it's the more expensive it is to get something new. And let me make you very clear, it's all artificial. There's no reason why it should be that expensive. The only reason why it is that expensive is because it makes you more money, right? You have something that is costs $500,000, $1 million. Isn't it something that you can make for maybe $100K? How the hell does that work? And it's all over the world. This idea of, we cannot build here. No, there's no. The artificial scarcity is what's mostly pushing, and it's because it benefits banks. It benefits the people that already have the hand inside the cooking stove, right? So you're working the market so as to create an enormous amount of wealth for a group of people, but you're making it it's being paid by the generations to come. These are the World Economic Forum victims, the you'll own nothing and be happy people. So for them to own the massive fortunes that they have, well, you will own nothing. Not only will you own nothing, you will be poorer than your parents. No matter how hard you work, you will not earn a living wage. That is insane. The idea that someone has to still be poor in spite of working, get yourself a better job. Sure, yeah, right. How far can you go with that? When was it that way? Was it always the case that someone with an honest, back-busting work job did not earn a living? No, it used to be that you didn't even need two incomes. It would be enough with one. A blue-collar dude would buy his house and his car, and he would have a wife and a couple kids. And he would do a job that today is most likely not going to be enough to earn a living. Do you understand how fucked up that is? So, the idea of always blaming the one that you're actually taking advantage of, that's pretty fucked up. It's also very effective because, you just have to work harder. Okay, no matter how hard you're working, if it's not enough, it's not enough. And all of these changes are not accidental. They're happening so as to create this because it has another graph that they're not showing, which is you're making more money out of the people's back, and you're focusing and concentrating that wealth on a handful of very rich people. For those people to be obscenely wealthy, you need a system that allows this to even happen. And a lot of this has to go back into the fiat currencies and gold standard that would have worked as a natural barrier to this unnatural distribution, because there's simply not enough money in the world. There's not enough. Oh, I want to be a multi-billionaire. Well, guess what? There's not multiple billions for you to have. Oh, but I want to have that. Okay, let's just make up money. Let's just make up debt as if that's money and put it on the back of the following generations. That's how this happened. That's how we ended up in this place, and that's why it will continue to be worse. But I'm only talking about the economic aspect of abusing the population through a fiat currency that you actually print, right? And the handful of people that benefit from this, and a little bit of a larger sector, always gonna be on that upper end of the society, the ones that already had these assets that are increasingly more and more expensive and more difficult for the average person to get. But that has to be combined with the social aspect of, if I don't have a future, if I'm not attractive as a person, as a man, you cannot provide for your family, you cannot do what is being required of you. Just how many times have we seen it already? People say, I can't afford to have a kid. I can't afford to have a kid. That's the most common comment I get in my videos regarding the demographic implosion that we're going through. People are not having children. Why? I don't want the responsibility. There's no future. But most of all, I don't have the damn money just to pay for a kid. Are you crazy? Cost what? And this is all incentivized also by hit pieces. You see it in the media. You see it in the same SNBC will put a bunch of how single women are happier. It is a lie. It is not true. But they will say that single women are happier. Men are stupid. Men are useless. A man needs to be 6 foot tall, make a 7-figure income, and have a 12-inch dong, and even that is not going to be enough. He also has to be sensitive and brave, and he has to have the body of Chris Hemsworth, even though even fucking Chris Hemsworth cannot do with his own body getting by. If you actually see some of his interviews, he says, I'm in constant pain. Everything hurts. I'm taking so many steroids. This unrealistic idea of what an ideal man, or even for women, the idea of being too much to ask to have a healthy body mass, that's just too much to ask. No, you have to be a damn multi-millionaire model and nice. And at the same time, you have to settle for a land whale because she has beauty on the inside. So you cannot ask anything as a man in terms of what a woman is expected to be. A woman can expect the most unrealistic, idiotic thing ever, and of course never have it. And guess what happens? The women don't have a damn thing. Guys cannot find someone to eat themselves, and that's how we end up in this place. And at the same time, if you happen to be with someone, the only thing you hear about is don't have children. Be a child-free couple. Those are the happiest couples of them all. That's the narrative. That's what they drill into your brain all the time. Well, at the same time, when you hear multi-billionaires do their interviews in their mansions, sitting right next to a fireplace and drinking some nice wine, or yeah, the most important thing in my life is my family. Yeah, it's curious how that works out. So, for really wealthy people, the most important thing in their lives is not even the millions and billions that they have. No, it's the family that they have. But for the rest of us, you have to be child free, because that's how you achieve through happiness and your real potential as a woman. As a man, no, you don't have anything. You're just scum. And as we heard the nice ladies from The View, men are worthless. That's basically what they're saying. That's just the line they're going with. Guys, it is fucking insane. We are going extinct on our own accounts, and even the lunatics that are doing this on purpose, you just have to wonder, what is it? Pure evil? Are they demonic monsters? I don't even know at this point. You have to wonder, because we're all going down the drain. This insanity of people not being able to have families, men not being able to marry a normal woman, women not being happy with their own gender anymore. Women have to be men have to be women, and kids need to be thrown into the hands of true fucking perverts, because that's how inclusion works. We are mental. We are out of our minds, and if this does not worry you, I don't know what else to tell you, because as a father, that I have older kids, I have grown men children, and I have little 5-year-olds, and you don't see it. You don't know how bad it is. You cannot avoid worrying about their future. And if you think things are bad now, the one that worries me the most, that's the 5-year-old. I don't even want to know what he will see once he reaches adulthood. That is the stuff of nightmares, man. Guys, as always, prepare while you still can, as I always say, and for that I strongly recommend Street Survival Skills and Surviving the Economic Collapse, my books based on real life experience and going through this and working and learning and researching for this for years now. See you next time.